Philly Hoofin. Philly Hoofin is the style of tap that LaVaughn Robinson has placed here in Philadelphia. As long as I've been in Philly, the main person that was showing off the tap style and what we do was LaVaughn. And what we call the Philly style is basically what he put down. And there's going to be some people who probably argue that, it's not just LaVaughn, but to me, it's LaVaughn. He literally was called the fastest feet in the business. He's won the Heritage Award from the president and, the Governor's Award from the governor of Pennsylvania for what he did in tap. So his style, his combinations, his etudes, all of those things I continue to teach, not only just here in Philadelphia, but anywhere and around the world that I go. Almost 20 years ago, I was in Taiwan and I was teaching a group of students there, just to find out 15 years later, they're still doing this style. They're still teaching LaVaughn style. Anytime you have a teacher that's like him, you want to make sure that you give homage to that person and continue his the legacy. And then Philly, Tap Team 2, we are the ones that hold it down. The legacy of LaVaughn, we hold down the Philly style. So, we've been around for over 30 years doing the Philly style, LaVaughn Robinson style. Yeah, so like a lot of the steps that I used to do, tap dancing on my toes, doing wings on my toes, doing back bends while I was on my toes and hinges on my toes, all of that stuff, man, I don't do any of that craziness anymore. Or as I call it, foot gymnastics. But really, it's continually to create rhythm, create the stories, and tell those stories with your feet. So like even with Tap Team 2, even as the company has evolved, our shows have changed. We do a whole thing on Christmas. We do a Christmas show. We just did a show that Timothy Yu created called Slumber Party, based upon, it was an all improv show based upon our retreats that we used to have. We would go and after one season of being on the road and doing all these shows, we would go on our retreat, and on those retreats, man, we had stories about all of us being on the road and what we did, and the funny stories in the car rides, and what would happen on stage and all of that. So this show was totally different than any other show because we didn't really rehearse for the show. It's like we came together because this is what we do all the time, and then in the show, Tim is giving us cues on what we're going to do, so the whole show is improv. So it was not one of those shows where we had to practice right before. All the steps that we did, we already knew. Everything that we were doing, we already knew. Even with Kareem, her vision on tap is not just tap dancing, utilizing costumes, utilizing different materials on the floor to create different sounds. These are some of the things and aspects that we are starting to explore more. For myself, exploring tap and painting. So, tap painting is one of the things that I do now a lot. I've been doing it for going on now 5 years, I think. So the last 5 years been dealing with painting. I've created 3 12-foot by 12-foot paintings. I've done over 30 or 40 4 feet by 4 feet paintings, and now I'm working on 2 feet by 2 feet paintings on wood, producing these type of things. So as I evolve, the art form is evolving, and I still keep homage to LaVaughn Robinson for giving me the opportunity to learn the Philadelphia style of tap. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be doing what I do. I honestly couldn't even begin to tell you how many trips I've taken out of the country because of tap dancing. I think I've only left the country once, just for myself, for vacation, and even then I still took my tap shoes. So it's like I wound up tapping, even on my own vacation. But all the other times leaving the country was because I was being asked to come and teach or to come and perform something dealing with tap dancing. One of the things I wanted to do is to give the students a different perspective. And in order to do that, I need to have teachers that teach differently. They've had me. So this time I wanted to bring in someone from outside the country, someone from outside Philadelphia. Yet these people still are connected to Philadelphia some kind of way because they learned either from LaVaughn or they learned from me, and they continue to teach that style. But their approach to it is different. Even, with Yu Ching coming in from Taiwan, he changed his approach to tap dancing because of what I taught when I was there almost 20 years ago. And it's the same thing with Troy. Troy was my first tap partner, and he and I both learned LaVaughn's style together. And then he had started learning some different things, so he learned a whole lot of other things. And in learning all these different styles, he still reverts back to the Philly style, LaVaughn style. Even when I see some of the clips of him dancing and teaching, I see so much of LaVaughn in him that it's almost like he can't get away from it. So these teachers, bringing them back to Philadelphia or bringing them to Philadelphia for the first time and allowing the students to experience them and not just me, giving them another view, as it were, on another perspective on the tap, especially on the Philly style tap. With anything, you don't want it to die, so the only way you can continue it is by continually teaching and leaving, your legacy, your footprint around. Is it important? It's only going to be important if you think it's important. If you don't hold it at a high regard, then no one else will. So this is one of the reasons why, for me, LaVaughn style, the Philly style, is important to me because I hold it at a high regard. It's a style that I don't want to see just die away when I die away, or LaVaughn didn't want to see it die away when he died away. It continues, so the legacy continues. So we want to continue to teach young folk the style and to teach them the proper history about where it's from and where it's going. They are the legacy holders, the future of this art form. So when we teach it in its purest form, and they get to see it. I want them to come out and watch us perform it, so they'll be like excited, like, oh, I want to learn that. even with Tap Team 2's choreography that we've done and put together, that's part of our legacy. So we want to continue teaching not only the Philly style, but we're part of the Philly style. So we continue to teach our legacy also. And it took me a little while to figure it out. It's like, oh wow, we've been doing this for over 30 years. Oh, we got choreography that's over 30 years old. So, you know, but at that time we only did the choreography. We never taught that choreography to younger folk. We never taught it to the younger generation. So now it's like, oh my God, we need to start teaching this choreography so it'll stay, it'll stay fresh, it'll stay new. So yeah, we want to continue to teach the young folk what it is that we do, and we teach it with excitement and let them know this is something that we hold at a high regard. So they should hold it at a high regard.